Welcome to Vaevictis Asmadi. As far as our opening hand goes, yeah, I love it. We have 3 lands in the hand, we have Arbor Elf, and also have Yahini. So yeah, we'll definitely go and keep on this one. The only thing that would make this better is if we were on the play, but our opponent's on the play, so we'll go and let them do their thing, and then we'll cover our commanders once they get this land drop going. We're playing Vaevictis Asmadi, which I'm going to call VA for the rest of the game. Doesn't really flow off the tongue that well sometimes. Whenever VA attacks, for each player, choose target permanent that player controls. Those players sacrifice those permanents. Then each player who sacrifices a permanent reveals the top card of their library, puts it on the battlefield if it is a permanent. All right, probably going to go and lead off with Arbor Elf. That way we have access to a little bit of extra mana. Let's go and get down Polluted Delta. Let's go and grab, Bayou? Yeah, let's go and grab Bayou. Where are you? There we are. Grab Bayou. Let's go and go for Arbor Elf. It's going to be 1 green mana. And then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Playing gets Atraxa, Praetors Voice, Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, and Lifelink. Then at the beginning of your end step, Proliferate. So we'll see what sort of special build of Atraxa we're playing against. Hopefully it's not Super Friends, but it's not the end of the world if it is Super Friends. So we'll see what they get down. But as far as this particular build of VA, since we don't really have a ton of access to a lot of really good manipulating the top part of our library, since we're playing 1 versus 1 commander, like we don't have access to Sensei's Divining Top or stuff like Sylvan Library. I kind of settled into more of a Jund to Good Stuff build, which actually kind of works out really well using VA as a closer for the deck. All right, so we draw into Command Tower. Do we want to get down anything for 3? We could go for Yahini if we wanted to do that. Yeah, let's go and go for that. Let's go and get down Badlands. Let's go and tap Bayou down for 1 green mana, untap Bayou, and then we'll go and get down VA, and that way we can go ahead and push. Oh, well, that's okay. That'll work. Anything else, we're going to go. I just saw that 3 mana and I just clicked on it and I was like, oh, right as soon as my finger hit the button. All right, so we were going to go for Yahini, but we got down Haunted Crossroads, which is not too bad. It's actually a really good card for the deck if you have a good graveyard going. So basically 1 black mana, put target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. So that kind of allows you to set up the kind of have your VA triggers kind of go into your favor, especially if you have a really good graveyard going. We do have Life from the Loam in here. We also have Grim Flayer, so it's really not that crazy that we get a really good graveyard established to where you can really use something like VA to kind of get some stuff moving. Opponent did end up going for Wasteland off of one of our lands they're going to be swinging in, so we do have Stomping Ground if we need to get down 3 mana with Yahini, so we probably might end up going for that one. Let's go and Shock and Stomping Ground. We're going to pay 2 on this one. Let's go and add that mana to our mana pool. Let's untap with Arbor Elf. Let's go and tap down, add 1 more black mana. Now let's go and go for Yahini. That way we can swing across for 2. They are looking at 3 cards in the graveyard for J, so they will be getting that to flip sometime soon. But let's go and push across for 2, and it's going to put them down to 27. And then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, as far as next turn goes, we're going to get down Command Tower. That will put us at 4 total mana. Hopefully we can get Obnixilis on the battlefield and really kind of get that card draw going. We do have to watch out for Jace becoming a Planeswalker, but they don't have a ton of stuff out of the graveyard they can use for that minus ability with the -3 ability instant or sorcery, so we don't have to really worry about Path to Exile getting cast again or something like that one. But we'll see what else they kind of roll out. They're tapping out for 4 mana, and that will be Atraxa. Okay. Now, if we do end up getting to 5 mana, one thing that we can do is kind of go for a kind of a reactive Living Death, even though they don't really have a lot of stuff to do out of our graveyard if we kind of want to clear our opponent's board state out. All right, drawn to Phyrexian Arena. Yeah, let's go and get that down. Let's go and get down Command Tower. Yeah, I think I like that. Pretty much really the only thing we're going to do this turn. Get down Phyrexian Arena. We could untap something with Arbor Elf. We have nothing for 4 mana. And then let's go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, as far as some of the really good utility cards in here, we have some really good Jund All-Stars in here. We've got stuff like Titania. We have Erebras the Hidden, which is going to give all of our creatures haste, which is really good for the deck. In fact, if you're thinking about building VA, you definitely want to incorporate some sort of haste option in there because either getting down VA or getting down some of your 4 and 5 drop creatures, giving them haste is always a really good option to go for. Opponent's got their own Phyrexian Arena, so we're good to go for that one. We also have Wasitora in here, which kind of fits on theme with us attacking our opponent's board state and kind of going for that. And then also stuff like the Gitrog monster. You know, there'll be some times where we get down Crucible of Worlds. We can use Gitrog to kind of start sacrificing some of our lands and start cashing in a little bit extra card draw for that one. Okay, we've got Atraxa swinging in for 4. That will knock us down to 21. And put them back up to 30, or 31-1 with the crack off Wooded Foothills. And our opponent will go for a Jace activation, which will put it online to be a Planeswalker. And they did go for the +1 on Yahini, so it's going to get rid of that 2 power that we do have all that. Let's see if we can get off these Phyrexian Arena card draw. Drawn to Taiga. Ooh, we're drawn to Pulse. That's really good. Okay, so if we want to get rid of that proliferate, what we can do is we can actually pulse on Atraxa, or if we want to pulse on Jace, we can definitely go for that too. Let's go ahead and get down Taiga. Yeah, and I guess at this point, if we want to stop Atraxa, we really need to kind of get that going. So we have two options. We can go for Pulse to kind of take care of Atraxa, and then that's still going to leave Jace on the battlefield. But either way, if we go for Living Death, it's going to get rid of Deathrite Shaman and get rid of our board state. So let's go and go for Pulse on Atraxa. An argument could be made for taking care of Phyrexian Arena, but yeah, I want to get Atraxa off the battlefield. At least kind of get that reduced cost going, or get that cost commander tax up on Atraxa off that. Send Atraxa back to the command zone, and then anything else. We're really not going to be able to push in with Yahenni, so we're simply just going to go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, as far as next turn goes, we will finally be online for 6 total mana. We can go for VA if we want to. In fact, we probably will, because that'll be a really nice flying threat to kind of start going against our opponent off of that one. Our opponent did go for a Deathrite Shaman activation, exiling Pulse out of our graveyard, so there's that to kind of deal with. Now, some of the ways that we can kind of make our VA triggers kind of be really one-sided is running stuff like Bloodghast. So let's say we do swing in with VA. That allows us to kind of sacrifice Bloodghast, and then we can make a land drop to kind of bring that creature back out, and at the same time kind of start dealing with our opponent. So, but I think getting VA down, that's going to be our best option for dealing with Jace. You know, that -9's, whenever you cast a spell, put the top 5 cards of your library. It's not too bad, but definitely don't really want to see a Planeswalker Ultimate, or at least if we can help it, we want to make sure that we can keep that flashback ability off of Jace off the battlefield. Opponent's going to go for the -2, or excuse me, the +1 on Yahenni. And if they don't, oh, never mind, they do have Bajuka Box, so we'll be able to catch our Bayou off of that one, which is not the end of the world. Okay, draw to Generator Servant. Let's do this. So basically, let's go and get Swamp down. Now, what we can do is we can go for Ob Nixilis. That's going to basically put them online for going for Anguish Unmaking. Now, if we do end up getting Generator Servant down, that's going to put us in a spot where we can get down Haste with VA next turn and kind of go for that. I think I'd like that. Let's go and do that. Let's go and get down Generator Servant. It's going to be 1/2, and if we want to, we can actually use Haunted Crossroads to put Generator Servant back on top if we happen to draw into something off of that. Anything else? Not really wanting to swing in for 1 against Deathrite Shaman, and then we'll just go and pass the turn to our opponent. So let's say we do sacrifice Generator Servant next turn. That's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'll put us online for at least 2 mana. Still kind of have a play around with, so maybe we draw into some sort of spot removal. We can go from there. But at least giving that haste option will allow us to swing in and really kind of take care of Jace. You know, they're looking at a +1 to be really close to an ultimate, but with VA swinging across, we'll be able to take care of it. Opponent's going to go for Thoughtseize. Sure, that's perfectly fine. Go for it. And our opponent does grab Ob Nixilis out of our hand. So like I said, they plus up on 1, make Jace a 9. We're going to have haste off Generator Servant. They can go for the -3 ability to exile Anguish Unmaking. And that's something they want to go for. That would allow us to at least tap out for VA next turn and have it on the battlefield as a threat. All right, so opponent will go for the -3. I'm pretty sure they targeted, yeah, Anguish Unmaking. So we'll see what they target off of this one. All right, opponent will end up targeting, using Anguish Unmaking to target Generator Servant. Okay, so we're more than likely will be getting down VA next turn. We'll see what we draw into, though. And the good thing is that we do have at least Yahenni coming in at a 2/2 to kind of put some pressure on Jace, too, if we need to end up going for that one. See what we draw into. Draw to Reanimate. Okay, so there's no creatures on our opponent's side of the graveyard and none in our graveyard either. Let's go and get VA down onto the battlefield. Let's go and, actually, let's do this first. Let's go ahead and add green mana, and then we'll untap Taiga. There we go. Don't want to do that out of order. Add red to our mana pool, and then 3 more. Get down VA. We're only looking at 2 mana from our opponent with 3 cards in the hand. They might have a counter spell, but they didn't because they didn't use it. And let's go and push in for Yahenni. Let's go and swing in at Jace. I like going for that one. If they want to go for Thoughtseize again with Jace, they can definitely go for that -3, but you know, if they take Reanimate, there's no options for us to go for. Either way, we're just kind of stuck with 2 semi-dead cards in the hand because we don't have any sort of graveyard established. But as far as VA goes, like I mentioned earlier, one of the things that really helps this deck is stuff like Sylvan Library and Sensei's Divining Top. Since we don't have access to that, we have to work around that. So we're running stuff like Noxious Revival and stuff like Scroll Rack. That's going to allow us to kind of manipulate the top part of our library and kind of set up a really one-sided trigger off of VA. And then we're also running stuff like Courser of Krufix. That's going to give us access to looking at the top part of our library to see if we want to shuffle it up with some sort of fetch land or something like that and kind of make sure we have a one-sided wipe. Now, we do have It That Betrays in here. I haven't got to get it down just yet and really take advantage of it. Usually by the time you're able to get down It That Betrays, opponent went for Supreme Verdict. Okay, that was going to take care of our commander, send it back to the command zone, and that does leave Jace on the battlefield. All right, let's see what we draw into. Drawn to Blood Crypt. Now, if we end up going for Living Death, That's going to bring back Yahini and Arbor Elf. It's going to allow us to swing in at Jace. It's also going to put Deathrite Shaman back onto the battlefield. Let's do it like this. Let's go and shock in Blood Crypt. We're going to take 2 on this one. Yeah, we're going to pay 2 life. Let's go ahead and reanimate on, well, I guess if we want to. No, I kind of like bringing back everything. So let's go reanimate on Deathrite Shaman. That way we can make sure that at least our side of the board is going to be pretty good on this one. All right, Deathrite Shaman. And let's go ahead and go for Living Death. Excuse me, I did that out of order. Either way, we could have waited to do that on the back end. Yeah, I should have done it the other way around. Sorry about that sequencing. I've been recording for a little bit today. So, yeah, we should have done it the other way. We would have had Deathrite Shaman on the battlefield. So let's go and swing in at Jace. I got a little ahead of myself off of that. Well, actually, yeah, either way, if we go for Living Death, they're going to be able to get back Deathrite Shaman. So at least we kind of made it to where we had a one-sided wipe on this. All right, so we are looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do have 7 total mana once we kind of count Arbor Elf, and we're looking at 8 mana to get down VA. So if we do hit the land drop next turn, we'll be in a pretty good spot. So that way we can at least get that down and really kind of start putting some pressure on our opponent. They are at the spot now to where they can get down Atraxa, and that's really not going to be the best for us. We have no cards in the hand. We have no removal. So if they do get on Atraxa, might allow them to kind of go ahead and stabilize. But let's see what they kind of get rolling for this turn, though. All right, opponent's going to go for Council's Judgment. Let's see what they voted for off of this one. We'll go and vote for Yahini. That way we'll get rid of Yahini. And that does leave Arbor Elf back on the battlefield. Okay, let's see what we draw into. Drawn to Marsh Flats. Yeah, let's go and get down VA. I think that'll work. Let's go and get Marsh Flats down. If they do end up tapping out for Atraxa, that at least puts in a spot where we can choose the target for Atraxa next turn whenever we swing in. Let's go and grab Swamp off of this one. Let's go and add that mana to our mana pool. All right, so get VA down onto the battlefield, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Like I mentioned earlier, now they do have some sort of spot removal that we'll be able to take care of VA, but if they end up tapping out for Atraxa, we can use that trigger to at least kind of get VA swinging across. And at this point right now, since we do kind of have VA on the battlefield, if we needed to, we can choose Arbor Elf as our permanent to sacrifice, or we can go for something like Haunted Crossroads, since we don't really have a whole lot of options going out of the graveyard. All right, opponent's going to go for Damnation. Okay. And then let's see what we draw into. Hopefully it's not another line. Drawn to Forest. Okay, let's go and get Forest down. And then, so VA, let's make sure we've got the correct commander tax on VA. Let's go and get Forest down. VA is going to be costing right at 10 total mana. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, we do have a couple different card draw options in here. We have stuff like Painful Truce or Read the Bones. So if we can draw into something like that, that'll allow us to kind of get at least a few more cards in our hand to find some sort of answer for our opponent. Or simply drawing into something like Grave Titan. You know, if we can get Grave Titan down on the battlefield and kind of get some of those 2/2 zombies going, that'll definitely help us get some sort of board state developed to kind of get out from underneath this pretty heavy control build of Atraxa. All right, opponent's going to go for Prime Time. Let's see what they're going to search up on this one. All right, opponent to get up Phyrexian Tower, and I think they grabbed Croson Verge off of this one. Search all the way for Forest card. All right, we'll get down Watery Grave and then pass the turn to us. All right. We draw into Cruel Tutor. Our opponent is tapped out. They only have Underground Sea, so if we can search our library for a card, put it on top. Yeah, it's better than nothing at this point right now. So let's go for Cruel Tutor. It's going to be 1, 2, 3. We'll see exactly what we're going to grab off of this Cruel Tutor. But unfortunately, with great Prime Time on top, kind of really breathing down our neck, it's going to be really hard for us to kind of get any sort of board state established. All right, let's see what we're going to grab. Yeah, let's go for Grave Titan. We're going to go and grab Grave Titan, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Worst case scenario, we simply just trade with Prime Time and Grave Titan. They're both going to be 6/6s on that one. At least we'll end up with 2 zombies on the battlefield. It'll allow us to kind of push past, hopefully, and start dealing some damage to Jace, or start attacking our opponent's life total. The only downside now is that Jace is ticked up to a 4. They have their entire graveyard online, so we have to get around stuff like Damnation, Council's Judgment, and Supreme Verdict. So it's going to be a little bit of an uphill battle, but maybe we can get some stuff going with Grave Titan. We'll see, though. All right, opponent's going to go for Doubling Season, which basically, if they get any sort of Planeswalker down, that'll put them into some sort of ultimate. So we'll see what they're going to be able to get down outside of Doubling Season. If it is something in our set, that's going to be the -9. Your opponent can't cast non-creature spells. Well, at least we'll still be able to get down Grave Titan. Okay, so getting into the battlefield, it's going to end up with 12 loyalty on that one. So we'll see what they're going to do with the Narset. Yeah, can't cast non-creature spells. Okay. So it's basically going to keep us off only on a creature game plan. But this deck we're running about 30 creatures in here. But we'll see what we can do off this one. All right, Primetime's going to be coming across. Let's say that we do end up getting Grave Titan down. They're going to go for the +1 on Jace, -2, -0. And it basically kind of negates what we're going to get going. But let's see what they search up on Primetime. We might end up having to scoop it up on this one. Okay, so we draw into Grave Titan. Let's go ahead and get down Grave Titan. Just at least go ahead and force the issue of them using that Jace ability on Grave Titan. Get that down, get those 2/2 zombies onto the battlefield, and then anything else, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Yeah, pretty much going to be a good game on this one. They do have Trample, so they will be able to use that -2 to kind of knock down Grave Titan. Now, we can throw our zombies in front of Primetime. We'll at least buy an additional turn. But with us not being able to cast non-creature spells, it's going to be really hard for us to kind of find any sort of answer on this one. All right, opponent's going to go for Source to Plowshare off that one. It's going to take care of Grave Titan. And our opponent does get down Captain Sisay too. And we're looking at Elspeth coming down. That's going to be target creature gets +3/+3 and gains flying. Actually, they go for they have Indestructible. Okay, all right, there we go. That's going to seal the deal on this one. They got Primetime swinging across. But we'll go and scoop it up on this one because basically there's not really anything that we can do on this one, no matter what we draw into. With Narset on the battlefield, can't cast non-creature spells. Then the fact that they do have Indestructible is going to turn off some of our other stuff that would, something like Ravenous Chupacabra, and that's not going to be able to deal with Primetime off of that one. So we'll go and scoop it up to our opponent. They're able to get down Narset and get the lock pretty hard on us. But yeah, you can see where VA is pretty fun sometimes, but if you can't get that card draw established, if you can't get a good board state going, our opponent was able to really control the board. They definitely were able to kind of steal that game from us. So they definitely got in on this one. And in fact, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more awesome MTG content just like this. And make sure to tap the bell icon to be notified whenever a video is made live. If you want to keep watching content, here are 2 more videos for you. This video and many others are sponsored by MTGO Traders and Cape Fear Games. Buy and sell digital singles to build your online collection today with MTGO Traders, and get your paper singles, accessories, and much more from Cape Fear Games. Whatever your Magic needs, both places have you covered.